Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video doing JMA Friday today. As always, on a Friday we're going to have a look at weather coming month with the Japanese and CFS V2 models. So, we know we've had quite an unsettled June. It's generally been a little bit wetter than average in most parts of the country. Temperatures have been okay. It's been warmer than average, but with a lot of dull, claggy sort of days and warm nights. But we're going to see how things are set to pan out in terms of these experimental models anyway for the month ahead. And this takes us well into the latter stages of July. Well, before we get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all of the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the pages. They own content where you watch them, they close back up again, and it does help to pay for our website. So let's get on with the update. And we're going to start off with 500 middle hour heights, break it down into week periods from the JMA model. First of all, this is taking us from the 24th of June through to the 1st of July. As you know, with these charts, blue extrapolates to low pressure, and yellow, red, orange are extrapolating to high pressure. So for the coming week, we've got a trough of low pressure out to the north and the west of the country, a ridge down to the southwest, and also a ridge up to the northeast. That's trying to keep things settled across Europe. But I think generally we're in an unsettled pattern here, with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic and from quite a cool source in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean as well. So I wouldn't be expecting a heat wave there by any means through the course of the coming week. Cool and settled, I would think, sums it up for next week. Week 2, which is the 1st through to the 8th of July, shows an unsettled pattern. We've got low pressure up to the north and west, ridge a long way out in the central part of the Atlantic. That's not doing much for us. Also a ridge across Scandinavia, and the jet stream again is going like that. So that again looks pretty cool, pretty unsettled. Low pressure is driving in off the Atlantic with that one. And then weeks 3 and weeks 4, which takes us from the 8th through 22nd of July, we see a change here. We lose the trough of low pressure, and instead we get this ridge building in the Atlantic and also extending through the UK. This would move the jet stream north. The jet stream would be going north of the UK, so that turns significantly warmer, also would turn significantly drier. We would have to watch out for easterly winds, and possibly the chance of a thundery trough developing underneath this ridge. So it could be thundery for the south, but it would be significantly warmer and significantly drier. So we do see a change there from the JMA around the middle part of the month. Let's have a look at the temperature precipitation anomalies that go with this. On this chart, it's from the JMA again. British Art is up here in the far top right-hand corner as you're looking at it. So we know that for the coming week, which is the 24th through to the 1st, we've got an unsettled week ahead. And that means that temperature anomalies are generally coming out a little bit cooler than average. Then precipitation is coming out, a bit of a north-south split actually on the precipitation. Scotland is wetter than average. England and Wales generally a little bit drier than average. We go through to the second week, which is the 1st through to the 8th of July. Again, this one looks unsettled. We've got trough of low pressure out to west of the country. So on the temperatures, well, they're a little bit better. They're lifting up a little bit above average generally through most parts of the country. Notice it's quite a warm spell setting up across Europe as well. Precipitation, north-south split continues. So England and Wales a bit wet, a bit drier than average. Scotland and Northern Ireland a bit wetter than average. And then for weeks 3 and weeks 4, which is the middle part of July, when we start to build that ridge around the country, of course, indicated by these yellow colours. With that one, temperatures, again, generally a little bit above average. It's not going for a really hot period by any means, but generally a bit above average with the temperatures. And precipitation, this is quite interesting considering it's going for above average heights. Precipitation is coming out, for the north it's coming out a bit drier than average, but for the south it's actually going a bit wetter than average. And as I say, that could be down to thundery low developing under that ridge. So although we do build the ridge in and probably have quite a few days of dry weather, eventually as we get through into that 4th weekly period, into the second half of July. Watch out perhaps for thunder moving up from the south. That is the that's the JMA. I'll have a look at CFS V2 next. So we'll start off with 500 millibar high anomalies from the CFS V2, and again these are broken down into weekly periods. So the first week period is from the 24th through to the 30th of June. Again, same ideas with the JMA, blue, green extrapolates low pressure, red, orange, yellow extrapolates to high pressure. So for the coming week, we've got that trough there to the North Country, ridge out to Central Atlantic, and also to the east of the Northeast Country. And the jet stream is doing something a bit like that. So again, it looks quite unsettled. Low pressure is driving in off the Atlantic. Be pretty cool as well with the source of the air from the fairway north in the Atlantic Ocean. The next week, which takes us from the 1st through to 7th of July, week 2, looking like this. Low pressure to the north of Scotland, ridge out in the Atlantic. Again, it looks unsettled and quite cool. Jet stream doing something like that. So on the cool side of the jet, and pretty chilly, unsettled conditions continuing there. But then we go through to week 3. This is the 8th through to the 14th of July. Look at this. We've got agreement with the JMA. We get an area of above average heights developing. High pressure builds in across the country and to the east. That looks pretty good. The jet stream will be going north with that. And we'll be turning winds into the east. And of course, east is in July going to be very warm, if not hot, because the air will be drawing in of that hot landmass sitting to the east of us. Watch out for the risk of thunder, though, perhaps coming up from the south. And then week 4, which goes from the 15th through the 21st of July, and the ridge continues. High pressure still there to the east of the country. That's a big ridge there sitting around the UK. So we've got good agreement here between the JMA and CFS V2 for a ridge to build in the second half of July, around middle of the month, and then going into the second half. Temperature anomalies for the coming week look generally cooler than average, and also cooler than average for week 2. That first week of July, temperature anomalies generally coming out below average. But then week 3, the 8th through to the 14th of July, it goes above average with the temperatures. And then week 4 looks significantly warmer than average as well. So we've got good agreement here between the JMA and the CFS V2 for a spell of summer to set up in the middle part of July. Precipitation looks generally wetter than average in the north, near normal in the south of the coming week. The next week, the 1st through to the 7th, that looks generally a little bit drier than average. I expect that to be a bit more unsettled than that shown, but it could be transitional. And then we go through to week 3, the 8th through to 14th of July. Bit dry on average in the north, near normal elsewhere. Could be thunderstorms in the south. And then week 4, the 15th through 21st of July, that looks drier than average also. So we've got good agreement here between the JMA and CFS V2 for the expected pattern over next month. Looks like the next couple of weeks, so this is the end of June and into the start of July, looks quite cool, quite unsettled, quite showery. Then it turns significantly drier and warmer in the second week of July and through the middle part of the month, perhaps lasting even into the second half of the month. If you saw the Beijing Climate Centre update that we did on Wednesday, BCC Wednesday, you'll know that the Beijing Climate Centre is doing something very, very similar as well. So all these longer range models want to give us a spell of summer as we get into the middle part of July in particular. Now, these are all highly experimental, so just because they're all picking up on the same sort of trend, it doesn't necessarily mean they've got the right idea. So it's a case of wait and see, but it is a heads up. It is quite interesting that they're all trending in that sort of direction for a spell of summer to get going in the middle part of July. As ever, time will tell. We're going to be doing the weekend forecast tomorrow. We'll also have a look at the JMA. It'll be JMA Saturday. Tomorrow evening, we'll look at the next 3 months with the JMA model on Saturday evening. That takes us into September. So come back for that one. Also come back for weekend forecast, of course, tomorrow as well. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.